tonight we are super excited to have Steve and Dodie. They are the owners of Perspire in Gilbert. Hopefully, some of you guys, I've been talking a lot about them. I know that a few of you guys have heard me say that we went and checked them out. And then Chris got a membership there, and he's been going every Friday, and he absolutely loves it. He's been posting it on his stories. Maybe some of you guys have seen. So we're going to give them a little bit of a chance to tell us their story and what they're all about, and then talk about Perspire and the health benefits that come with the infrared sauna. And then they are offering a giveaway tonight to one of you lucky guys that joined us live. They're offering a free week to come and try them out. And I highly recommend it. It was interesting. I was a little nervous the first time I went, but honestly, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. In fact, Chris was the one that was struggling, not me. He was like, "This is so hard." We went in together. So that is an option. You guys can go in together, and we just talked the whole time. We watched the show for a minute. But he has like taken it to the next level. He said he got up to 170 the other day. So
that's awesome.
Oh, good.
So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, how long Perspire's been around, and what got you interested in opening this place.
First of all, I have to reveal, Andy, that that's my smart aleck humor in the comment section. I just couldn't resist. I was binging on Breaking Bad this weekend, so it's just like in my head. So anyhow, Steve and Dodie Bell, we have been in the Valley for 27 years in a marketing company that we own. Just give you a quick skinny on that. COVID was not friendly to us, opened our minds and hearts to new opportunities. We still are, actually, we're at our marketing company right now working late tonight, but Dodie's cousin introduced us to Perspire Sauna Studio that originated in Costa Mesa, California about 12 years ago. They started franchising right before COVID, and even through COVID, they sold franchise agreements and open up locations in Austin, Orlando, Omaha, places like that. So we bought 3 locations, and we are the first to be open in Arizona. There's 3 more coming up into Scottsdale area, 3 more Carefree, Cave Creek, and 3 more on the west side. And then we basically own the Southeast Valley. So let's talk about Perspire. Anything you want to add?
No, bad. You're on a roll.
So Perspire Sauna Studio is different in that has everybody, you can either raise your hand or comment or whatever, has everybody saunaed before? Okay, when you saunaed, if you want to share, like, was it like the saunas that you go into with a bunch of people and you can't breathe and it's just
a wet sauna.
It's called a wet sauna. Have you been in those?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are pretty rough. I don't like those because I can't breathe. I feel a bit claustrophobic. We have infrared saunas, and the difference between an infrared sauna and a wet sauna is this. The infrared heaters heat your core temperature and raise your core temperature 2 to 3 degrees, and your cardiovascular system thinks you either have an infection or a fever, and that ramps up your cardio. So think about when you are working out. Let's say you're on a treadmill and you elevate your heart rate. That is exactly what is happening in the infrared sauna. Our saunas start at 130 degrees, and we max out at 170 degrees. For newbies, we usually start them at 130. And I'll be honest with you, when we first saunaed, it was hard. I mean, 130, 140 was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And it is a dry heat, like Arizona summers, and you can breathe in them.
And it's a 40-minute session, right?
It is a 40-minute session. We have 9 private sauna rooms. Each sauna room has a flat screen TV, and we offer premium entertainment like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube. We provide for you all of your towels. So you get a bath towel to sit on, a hand towel to mop yourself, a floor towel to sweat on. And then the best part is when you're done, you step out of the sauna, we provide you with a chilled eucalyptus wash rag to mop yourself down. And this is what's so weird about the infrared sauna. Your bacteria cannot live in that heat, so you have no stink. So we have a lot of our members that will sauna in the morning. They shower at home, they come in sauna, they mop up, and then redress and go to work. We have a lot of our members who will sauna at night because not only do we have infrared heat, but we also have medical grade red light therapy. So that is great for your skin. We have a lot of people that have eczema, psoriasis, that takes care of that. But the red light therapy actually doubles the natural melatonin in your brain and helps you sleep. So the benefits of infrared sauna are these, and this is just a few of them. Detoxing your body of the heavy metals. You will actually burn 200 to 300 calories, not water weight, but calories because of the cardio burn you get in a 40-minute session. It's great for skin. It's great for, as I said, sleep, relaxation, muscle recovery. We have MMA fighters that come in to either cut weight or they're coming in to recover after a fight. It's a crazy thing to think about. We have a lot of people who say, why would I want to go into infrared sauna when I live in Arizona and I live in a sauna? And we're like, So here's the difference. No UV rays, no harmful effect from the heat. But this is health and wellness. The FDA and the government have allowed our members to use their HSA and FSA cards to pay for their membership because it is considered health and wellness. We have naturopathic medicine practitioners who are referring their patients to us as part of their treatment. So we've owned the business and been open for about 105 days. We sauna regularly. At first, 100, 140 degrees, we felt hot. We sauna 3 to 4 times a week, and I sauna now at 165 degrees.
I'm between 150 and 155.
And honestly, it feels like 10 minutes in the sauna. I will tell you that the last 10 minutes of a 40-minute session, your heart really elevates and it just gets hot. You can step out. We have concrete floors. You can step out, cool off. We always tell people to drink at least 24 ounces of water before you come in the sauna. You take at least 24 ounces of water in the sauna with you, and you drink at least 24 ounces when you get out. And the weird thing is, you will not pee. Like you'll sweat it out. Some people have to train their body to sweat, and we have a lot of our members who have done that, who say, I don't sweat. Now they're getting good sweats on, and the benefits are incredible. So that's the quick skinny on Perspire. We are located at Higley and Queen Creek Roads, the southeast corner, between Vito's and Starbucks. We are now in negotiations with our second location across from Hamilton High School in Chandler. We will also be looking at putting one somewhere in the South Tempe area over like I-10 and Ray Road for our first 3, and then we'll probably go to Queen Creek, etc. So that, Tirsa, what are we missing from what we've talked about that would be beneficial to your clients?
Yeah, I think that you gave them a really good idea of the health benefits. And I think that's probably, you're talking to the right crowd for that. That's important to all of us. One thing I was going to mention is that if you guys follow Chris, that is one thing that he showed his heart rate on his watch in his stories and how many calories he had burned. And so it was interesting because his heart rate got up to, I think, 126 or something like that.
Resting.
And that's just sitting
Yep.
in the sauna. So if somebody wants to come and try you out, you do offer a first session for $20, correct? Is that something that they can just do? How do they book a session with you?
So you can download the app at PerspireSaunaStudio.com, and then you can book your session. You can call, you could download the app or call the studio.
Or go on the website she just gave.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really easy. We use MindBody, so you can schedule your session there. We are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, Fridays 7 to 7, and then Saturday and Sundays 9 to 6. So your first session's $20, and if you decide to do a membership, we have 3 different levels. The 4 times a month is $69, 8 times a month is $119, or we have unlimited at $159. The beautiful thing about unlimited is, if you're you're trying to achieve your health goals, you really need to sauna 3 to 4 times a week, and that will really help with achieving your goals. But if that's too much, so we don't have no contracts. You can cancel within 30 days. I mean, it's super easy. But if you didn't want to do a membership, you still want to, to come more often, we do have packages. Or if you want a single session, it's $39.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really good. And I think, for a lot of us, we're, time constrained because we still want to get that hour in at the gym. And so knowing that you can just buy a package of 4 or 8 is actually really cool. And that's why Chris decided to do that, because he's.
And those will not expire. He can use them for forever. I mean, they'll be available forever.
The packages.
Yeah, the packages.
And then on the membership, if you come, you buy the membership 4 times a month and you can only come 3 times this month, then next month you can come 5. They roll over.
Oh, okay.
You don't lose
That's
them.
good to know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. So Celeste Marie and.
So we recognize that it sounds miserable. We do. It's like, I live in Arizona. It's miserable. It's hot. But I will tell you, one of the things that we're finding is that it is actually helping us acclimate to the heat. So as we prepare for summer, if you're sauning at 150, believe it or not, when you get out of that sauna and you go outside, 100 degrees feels pretty good.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. When we
It really does.
I'm like, wow, I got chilled because I was pretty drenched, and I was like, that is crazy, because we came home and we sat by the pool and stuff, and it was like not a big deal at all.
No.
After being,
so, if you can sauna in 150 degrees, you can deal with 110 all day long.
But the other benefit, though, too, just overall benefit, is you can feel relaxed and energized at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So taking that 40 minutes to yourself, whether you're listening to music, your podcast, your TV, whatever, is right for you, you really can get energized and you just feel relaxed, because a lot of times we don't take the time that we need for ourselves. Like, we are all on this Zoom and we are, conscious about our health and we want to improve our health, but the majority of people don't. And so this is a really good way for them to improve their health and just have, just the overall wellness it's just really good.
Yeah. Well, in my head, I'm thinking, we never take time to stretch. That would be a perfect opportunity to be in a warm sauna and have like 40-minute stretching session. Clay, you could bring your GoWad with you and put on a session and start stretching in the warmth.
Yeah, we do have weights.
We have hand weights.
2 to 5 pounds. And I've taken those in. You can sit on the bench and do, a lot of different things, or you can lay on the floor and do something. And
Perspire actually does have a channel for working out in the sauna too. So, Tirsa, I'm not sure that you could handle those 5-pounders, but we got smaller ones if you need them.
Okay, thanks. Good to know. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and do our drawing now. We have everybody's names in here. You want to do it? Sure. Can your hand fit in there?
Yeah. Sammy!
Oh, yay! So Sammy, we go out. That's awesome. Sammy or Steve, what's the best way for her to claim this? Should she call the?
Yeah, so we'll have that gift card at the studio.
Okay.
And it will be a gift card, and it's a $100 value.
Awesome.
So you can come 5 times in a week and use it for that week. And so all you need to do is contact the studio. We can give you that phone number. You can talk to Andrew, the manager, and he'll have that ready for you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, Sam, absolutely. We're excited to have you, but they will need your contact information to get you into the Mind Body. But I promise you, we're not going to be after you to sell you or anything. We just want you to come and be our guest for a week.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Tirsha, you have that number.
Yeah.
You want me to give it to Sammy now, or what would you like?
I can share it with her. It's
okay,
fine.
perfect.
Cool.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much. So we're gonna move into our nutrition talk portion now. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So tonight, let me know if everybody can see that. Thumbs up? Perfect. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about sugar and sweets. It's so funny because when Steve got on, he asked if it was okay to have his dark chocolate square. And I think that's a perfect way to do it. In fact, that when I first started tracking macros, I've told some of you guys this that work with me. I had to plan my evening treat every night because that was the way I felt like I wasn't dieting, is to know that I got something sweet at the end of the day. And what's interesting is that at first it was like, how much ice cream can I eat and still fit my macros? Like, I will skip dinner if that means I get more ice cream. That's where I was at. And that's what worked for me for the first, like, I don't know, month or so. And then finally I was like, actually, I'm pretty hungry. I actually want more food and less ice cream. And as months went by, my treat got smaller and smaller and smaller. And now my treat is my protein yogurt treat that I've shared with a lot of you guys, which is berries and protein yogurt and granola and whipped cream.
Yeah.
And that's my go-to now. So doesn't mean that I don't have my dark chocolate still. In fact, I have my favorite dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's in my pantry right now. I do have to hide those from my children because they eat them all. And then there's none left for me when I want one. But so we're just going to talk a little bit about it tonight. Obviously, there's sugar in everything. So we want to bring awareness to it. And then those of you that work with us know that we are all about moderation. In all things, we are not looking for eliminating or extreme diets or the all or nothing mentality. So we want to teach you how to be more mindful and to be aware of the sugar that's in the food that we eat. So here's that $20 session that they offer. If you guys you can scan that QR code that's up in the right corner. I also have, Steve, did you give me some of these? I can't remember. Oh, unmute yourself.
I believe we did, but we've got more that we can get to you, Tirsa.
Okay, I'll stop by.
We're going to put them in your gym. So yeah, I mean, whatever you need.
I'll stop by and grab some of those. Luckily you guys are right around the corner from me. So I can stop by and grab some of those, and I'll have those at the gym. So if you guys want to try it out, Jenny, if you want to go sweat with Sammy, you can bring that card and try out a session. So you all know that we really try and focus on a habit-based approach at CrossFit Preferred, and we want to promote a healthy lifestyle, and we're not looking for a quick fix. So those that have worked with us in the past know that. If you are new or you're watching this later, and you're looking for something that allows you to still live a regular lifestyle, we would love to work with you. We've worked with over 150 people, and we've helped them reach their goals. Dusty's on here right now, and you can see her pictures and some of the things that she's been able to accomplish over the last 9 months or so. And it's really, really cool to see not only her body change, but the change in the gym as well. She has really gotten super strong. She's very consistent. She's drug her husband along as well. And it just makes it so fun when your family and friends are working out with you. Do you agree, Dusty? I know you've made some new friends too at CrossFit Preferred. Unmute yourself. It's not working. It's not. And I can't unmute her. Okay. Anyway, so if you guys are interested in working with us, and if you aren't current clients of ours, you can go to our website and click on the nutrition link and schedule a free consult with us. We give every new member of our gym a free consult, and we talk about your goals and how we can help you reach them in a way that is sustainable. Here we go. All right. So like I said, we're going to talk about sugar and sweets tonight. There's lots of studies that show that high consumption of sugar is associated with inflammation in our body and chronic disease. I just went and did a hair skin analysis or a hair follicle analysis a couple weeks ago. And one of the things that it mentioned was that I had some inflammation in my body. And I know how I feel when I eat a lot of sugar. I feel inflamed.
Oh yeah.
I mostly feel it in my gut, and maybe you guys have experienced that as well. But inflammation is directly related to sugar. I remember when we were kids, and we would get sick, my mom would not let us eat sugar. And my sister-in-laws, they're like, I don't understand that. Like now they're like, I don't understand. Why can't you eat sugar? And as a kid, I didn't know why, but now, you know, it makes sense. Like it causes inflammation, what makes your body, it's harder for your body to fight off whatever you're dealing with. But all our cells in our body, including cancer cells, need sugar. So when we look at some of the diseases that are directly related to sugar, we're looking at like some of the obvious are diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, but there's a lot of other things. You know, cancer is actually the sugar or high glucose directly feeds cancer cells. Obesity is also strongly correlated to an increase in sugar, as well as 13 common cancers that we see, including breast cancer, liver cancer, colon cancer, all of those things. So, I mean, we don't really have to tell you why we need to decrease the sugar. You guys should know a lot of this already. But sometimes it's just a good reminder to know, like, if we're spending all this energy and time to eat good and to exercise, we need to make sure that we're not like fighting against our own bodies by feeding our bodies things that are going to feed cancer cells and other diseases. So an interesting statistic is that 500 calories of sugar a day is the norm for the average American to be eating 500 calories from just sugar, which is about 36 teaspoons. And there was that, if you think about what that adds up to over a year's time, that's 150 pounds of sugar. That's how much I weigh, guys. 150 pounds of sugar. And that's the average person. So, you know, we have people eating probably double than that. And I have, like, I think about my own kids and like their diet. I mean, it's not perfect, obviously, they're kids. And we like to keep, you know, things in the house that are like for special occasions. Like we have a fridge outside in our built-in kitchen, our outdoor kitchen. And I like to keep it stocked with all kinds of drinks, because then when we have friends over, you know, one time a week, we'll open up the fridge and let them kind of do whatever they want. And honestly, guys, I have to keep it locked because they are just drawn to it, which any kid would be, right? Oh, yeah. But it's crazy how, like, there was a statistics that said I think it was the 1800s, early 1800s, the average amount of sugar that a person ate in 5 days is the same amount of sugar that we see in a 12-ounce can of soda. So they were eating that in 5 days. Now we're consuming it in one drink. That's crazy, isn't it? And so that just brought a lot of awareness, and it makes sense on why the obesity is such an epidemic, and why just even our children, we're starting to see some like type 2 diabetes in children and things like that, because of the habits of their parents, which is always really hard. And, you know, those of you that have kids and are working on your nutrition now, like, this is something that's going to carry over into your children's lives. And obviously my kids hear me talk about nutrition all the time. They see me, you know, track my macros at times and things like that. But we have a lot of healthy conversations about balance. Like, I'm not the mom that doesn't ever have anything in my house, but we do talk a lot about moderation, and I'm sure you guys do too.
Oh yeah, we talk about it a lot. Ben constantly is like asking questions and stuff like that, but I try to keep everything at moderation, because I grew up in a household where it was, you know, no soda, you know, the chips were healthy chips, like we had reduced fat Oreos, like all of that type of stuff. But when I moved out, I binged on it. And I drank nothing but Mountain Dew for a really long time, and I gained a lot of weight. And it was all because I wasn't allowed to have it. So then getting out, I had all of it.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true, you know. And I think that's a lot how I was raised too. You know, we had cereal that wasn't sweetened ever. So when I would go to a friend's house, like, I would literally raid their cabinets.
I would do the same thing. Oh my gosh. Doritos. I was in love with Doritos.
I love having dinner at their house. Because they always serve soda. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, there's a healthy balance there. So I want you guys to think about the last time you had a sweet treat. For me, it was yesterday. We were at my sister's house for a pool party, and she made Hershey Kiss cookies, which, if you don't know what that is, it's the peanut butter cookie with the Hershey Kiss in the middle. They're delicious, and she's a master at them. And then she made this homemade lemon bundt cake. First of all, I didn't know it was homemade at first, and so I was like not tempted. I'm like, no, it's fine. But then I saw someone eating it. I'm like, oh, that looks amazing. So I tried it and it was so, so amazing. So I know that sometimes if we go into an event like that and we don't have a plan, one cookie can quickly turn into 10 cookies. And then who knows what happens after that, right? We kind of black out, we forget what happened and we just call it a wash.
Yeah.
But with that happens over and over, it tends to create this sense of anxiety when you go to events. Like it used to for me quite a bit. And now a lot of times I'll offer to be the one that brings the treat because there's not that scarcity mentality when I bring it. And I know if I don't have any, then I can have something later in the day, you know, I can bring it home with me or whatever. So that's one option you guys can try. Or another option, I'm kind of a snot when it comes to treats. And if it's not home baked, I don't want it. And so I can bring like store-bought cookies and then that's not tempting at all.
Same. Yeah.
So find little ways that, you know, you guys can participate, but not go overboard. But, so we've helped a lot of people with our nutrition program navigate the sugar in our lives and be more mindful. And that's the key word there, is just being more mindful, because we're not looking to cut something completely out. There's a lot of negative feedbacks that comes with cutting things out completely. And so it's more just about being educated and asking yourself, is this something I really want, or am I eating it because it's here or because everybody else is having it? So that's a start.
Sugar can be very addictive. A study that took place at the University of Minnesota found that sugary foods cause a similar effect on our brain chemicals when compared to those on drugs. I know that when I go to Crumble Cookie and I eat a cookie from Crumble, I feel real good for like 5 minutes. And then I'm like, that didn't last very long. And then I go back for more.
Yeah, it's that dopamine hit. We love that over and over. So we know how much sugar the average person's consuming. We know the addictiveness it can have on us. We know the negative effect on our health. So why do we still consume it? And I think a lot of that comes back to not really the knowledge part. Like we don't really understand what that means. What is 36 teaspoons? Is that a lot? Is that a little bit? And the AHA recommends no more than 24 grams of added sugar for women and 36 grams for men, which equals 6 to 9 teaspoons. And I want you guys to remember that, because we're going to pull some foods out in a second. We're going to talk about how many grams of sugar are in common foods that we eat that we might think are like healthy. And you're going to realize that 6 to 9 teaspoons of sugar adds up really stinking fast. So on average, the average American is eating 6 times that amount in a given day.
If you track your food on MyFitnessPal, go in and there's a special spot that shows you exactly how much sugar you eat with all the foods that you're eating. Take a look. And it's kind of surprising.
It's really interesting. Even if you think you're eating really healthy. I have a couple of my clients who that is specific to them. I'm having them track sugar. And a lot of our, like, what we might consider diet food is packed with sugar to help it taste better. Or sugar alcohols or things like that. And so it's quite interesting to see how it adds up.
Lower fat foods, when they take the fat out of the food doesn't taste as good. So when they take the fat out, they have to put something in order for it to taste just as good. And so that's where sugar comes into play.
So sugar can be super sneaky. So we want to review 3 foods with hidden sugar that you might think is healthy. Go ahead.
So number 1 is convenience breakfast foods, such as oatmeal packets, Pop-Tarts, yogurts, and cereal. So 1 teaspoon is 4.12 grams. So a single serve oatmeal.
Show them your. Didn't you bring an oatmeal?
I didn't bring an oatmeal.
Isn't this oatmeal?
No, that's a birthday cake
oatmeal
thing.
Oh,
No,
okay. Never mind.
We lied. So a single serve oatmeal packet contains 11 to 15 grams of sugar. So that's like the Quaker Oats, maple sugar, and Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts, I love Pop-Tarts, but the amount of sugar, there's 30 grams of sugar in one. And there's 2 in a package.
So that alone is 7 7 teaspoons,
Yeah.
which is already more than we should be having in a full day.
Right. And that's a snack. Like that's not a meal. So another thing is Trix cotton candy yogurt. A lot of companies, when it comes to kids yogurts, they add that sugar in because really, I mean, what kid?
It's addictive. And
Yeah.
so then that's the sugar, that's the one the kids want. It's
Exactly.
those squeezable.
Yep.
And then they put them in the fun squeezy things.
Yes.
And that's the ones they want.
Yep. Yeah. So 14 grams of sugar per serving in those little kids yogurts. And then breakfast cereals. Here, like.
So this is interesting because this is the kind I buy for my kids, which in my mind, or maybe as a kid, like I was like, oh, this is healthy.
Yeah.
It's got almonds in it.
Yeah.
So this one serving, which is only 1 cup, which nobody ever has 1 cup of cereal, is 9 grams of sugar. So
and then
that includes 8 grams of added sugar.
Yeah.
So that is insane. That's 1 cup. And then also, did you guys know that milk has sugar in it?
Yeah.
And sometimes almond milk, if you're not doing unsweetened, it's going to have sugar in it as well. So,
and then non-fat tends to have a little bit more sugar than the whole milk.
Yep. So 24 grams of added sugar for women is the recommendation, 36 grams for men. So just in that breakfast cereal right there, if you had 2 cups, you're already having more than you should have in an entire day.
Yep.
So easy grab and go snacks is another sneaky way to get extra sugar in your diet. We grabbed a few things that we're going to show you. Let's do these first. So this is a fig bar. This is something that I used to eat before the gym every day and something I used to recommend to my clients. This has, this is embarrassing, 19 grams of sugar in this. That's 4.5 teaspoons of sugar in just this. And I thought this was like healthy until I started looking at the food label. So just looking at food labels is gonna go a long way.
Nature's Valley, the biscuit peanut butter. This has, where's the sugar? This has 8 grams of sugar, including 8 added sugars.
But that's for 1 piece and there's 2 in there.
Oh, yep. Yes. And then also the Fiber One bars. Fiber One bars in 1 bar has 9 total grams of sugar with 8 added sugar. And then I was looking at the ingredients. There's 4 different kinds of sugar listed in this ingredients.
And we're going to talk about what to look for in the ingredients and why it's important to see that and where it's labeled and everything. Do the that's it bar.
Oh yeah.
Because this is just like a fruit, like it's almost like a fruit leather, but it's just like it's just fruit.
Yeah,
really.
It's just apples and blueberries. And this has 9 grams of sugar.
So when you look at the back of a food label, you'll see like sugar and then you'll see added sugar. So the added sugar is something that they have added to it. So this says 9 grams of sugar that's coming from the fruit. So it's still sugar. Yep. It's still going to turn to glucose in the body. It's still going to fuel those cells that are harmful in our body and cause inflammation. So even though it's natural, we still need to be careful about that.
Because I can't eat this and be full.
This is another one, yogurt. So this one is actually on the healthier side because there's no added sugar to it, but it still has 5 grams of sugar in it. But if you get like the Chobani's 20 grams of sugar.
Yes. Yeah.
And then my favorite is the Too Good yogurt. And it definitely, you can tell that it doesn't have added sugar because it's not sweet at all. But it only has 2 grams of sugar. So
that one's my favorite too.
We're going to get to drinks actually. So
beverages. So beverages, here's a couple of suggestions or few. Nesquik fat-free chocolate milk has 54 grams of sugar in it. And that's where the whole fat-free, so there's no fat in it. It's not going to taste good. So there's the added sugar that they put into that. Minute Maid lemonade has 29 grams of sugar. Snapple iced tea has 46 to 50 grams of sugar, depending on the flavor. And then a 12-ounce Coke has 39 grams of sugar. Gatorade, a 20-ounce has 36 grams of sugar. And then also reminder, 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon.
So Gatorade is something that really was an eye opener for me because my kids all play sports. And when they get done with their basketball game or their volleyball game, what do they get?
Yeah.
What does the parent that provides the snack get? Gatorade.
Yep.
And of course, like in my mind, I know how much sugar is in that. So I just like, it's fine. They get Gatorade when they play sports, and that's the only time. I don't buy Gatorade in my house, but to know that they're drinking 20 grams or 36 grams of sugar in one little thing is insane.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather have 2 or 3 cookies than drink 20 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all about what's worth it, right?
Oh, and one other thing too is creamers. Creamers have about 6 grams of sugar per tablespoon, which, that adds up. I don't know who only puts a tablespoon of creamer in their coffee, because it's not me. I tried it once.
Jenny's like, no.
I tried that once. It's not good.
Yeah, we want a little bit of coffee with our creamer. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to show you this. I bought these at Costco the other day. I'm like, oh, they're organic coconut water.
No added sugar.
No added sugar. Well, I just looked at this and it has 10 grams of sugar in it. Now it's not added sugar. It is just from the coconut, but that's still 10 grams of sugar in one drink. And my kids have been drinking these like crazy. Like I bought them for Chris, and I don't know if he's had a single one. And I think this is the last one, which I guess if they're going to drink something like this is better than, soda. Yeah. But it can definitely add up. And with all the other sugar that they're getting in a day, like they don't really need this,
Yep.
So this is full of electrolytes. And that's one of the reasons I bought it, is because when Chris is like going to the sauna or whatever, and he's sweating a lot, like this is a good little thing for him. Or he runs outside a lot now that it's getting hot. Like he really loves cold coconut waters when he gets done. But this is something that I have been doing every day for the last few weeks. And it's an electrolyte. It has 0 grams of it has 0 sugar, total sugar 0. And so it actually is a little bit salty. I think I've told a couple of you guys about this. I buy it on Amazon. This is the watermelon lime. It's my favorite. And for some reason, I crave it. Like I've been putting it in my water. I drink so much water when I add this. It's just a tiny bit salty. Yep. It's not like overpowering. And if you don't like it, you can always start with a half a scoop. But sometimes you want something other than water to drink. And so this is like a good little option for that.
There's one other thing. I didn't bring them with me, but Ashley Bruno got me into this. It's called True. And you can buy them on Amazon. I found them in fries, but they're a little bit different and they use stevia to sweeten them. But if you go on Amazon, it's True, and it's just dehydrated lemon or lime rind. And it's really good. It's like having a lemon or a lime in your water. That's cool. They're really, really good.
Oh, I have some in my cabinet.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really yummy.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. So I have a couple other things. Okay. So, sometimes I'll buy these, and there's no added sugar, but there is fake sugar in this. So it's not something I do all the time, but sometimes I'll have them. But this is another good option. So I buy these, you can buy them anywhere, but I bought a big pack at, Costco. So this has 0 grams of sugar, and it's sweetened with stevia. So hence the name Zevia.
I really like those.
Yeah, and they come in all different flavors. And so I keep my outside freezer or fridge stocked with these too. And my kids will go for this over like the regular sugary stuff, which I don't tell them that it's healthy for them because they might not like it if I do. But it's totally like a good option. Yep. And then I'm going to post a recipe this week for something that I made. We went to my sister's house for Memorial Day yesterday, and I brought a fruit platter, and I tried a new fruit dip because everybody likes fruit dip with fruit, right? And normally it's cream cheese and marshmallow fluff.
Oh yeah,
or whipped cream. So I used this. This is our Clean Simple Eat strawberry cheesecake protein powder. And anytime you guys buy the Clean Simple Eat stuff, I have like a little booklet of recipes that you can make things with it, not just smoothies. But there was a recipe for the fruit dip, and this only has 2 grams of sugar in it. And it's also sweetened with stevia, and xylitol. So those are both natural sweeteners. And anyway, so it was Greek yogurt, a little bit of cream cheese, and some honey. And seriously,
It's
I
so
took
good.
it. I just had her taste it. I took it to my sister's house, who like her kids like know that I try and like sneak healthy things in. And I brought it over and I didn't say a word. And my niece, who like hates it when I make things healthy, she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." And she keeps eating it. And then I like turned to my daughter and I'm like, "It's healthy. Don't tell her." She's upstairs. She might have heard me. I don't know. But it was so good. So I just placed an order, and we are getting more of these in this week. This is the last one that I stole, the last one, but we're gonna have more this week, and there'll be sample packets if you guys want to just buy a sample and see if you like it. Okay, so we're gonna take a minute to breathe and digest everything we just talked about. So the most important thing is we need to know what's in our food, and you can do this by learning how to read your food label. So I'm going to give you an example. So this is the granola that I buy for my little treat that I have at night. So I'm going to read you the food label. It says, so the ingredients, the first ingredient is almonds, organic honey, pecans, toasted coconut, sunflower seeds, coconut oil, vanilla extract, salt, and cinnamon. So pretty simple things, right? So did you know that they place the ingredients in the ingredients list in order of how much is in it? So it starts with the most and goes to the next. So the second ingredient in this is organic honey. So you know that there's quite a bit of honey in this. And this has 5 grams of sugar and a quarter cup. I'm not doing a quarter cup of this, so I'm not too worried about how much of this how much sugar is in this, because I just do 1 ounce. It's a pretty small amount.
Do you want to read the back of a non-healthy granola?
Yeah, let's do that.
So this is the birthday cake Kroger granola. It's quite yummy. So whole rolled oats, cane sugar, expeller pressed canola oil, rice flour, sprinkles, cornstarch, palm oil, vegetable juice, an extract, annatto extract, turmeric, paprika, brown rice syrup, cornstarch, oat syrup solids, natural flavor, salt, barley malt syrup, and mixed tocopherols.
Usually if you
E.
can't pronounce it, don't do it.
No.
Don't eat it.
Vitamin E to maintain freshness. That's pretty much what that said. So this has 16 grams of sugar, and it includes 16 added sugars.
So it's all added sugar.
It's all added sugar.
Awesome.
Yep.
So yeah,
in 2/3 of a cup.
So looking at regular, the sugar and then the added sugar. And then this is going to show you, so there was 3 different kinds of sugar in that.
Yes.
Because you're going to be looking for obviously regular sugar, but also things that have the word syrup in it or end in ose, like fructose.
Yep.
So those are all forms of sugar that you're going to be looking for.
Now that we're aware of the sneaky sugar and how to find them, let's dive into 3 tips to enjoy sweet treats mindfully.
You guys are going to be so bored with this, because when I was reading it, I'm like, ugh, but maybe we'll try it. So we can use some sugar alternatives. So sugar, doesn't matter how we get it in our body. So if it's honey, regular table sugar, xylitol, stevia, whatever, all of that turns to glucose, which means it's feeding the inflammatory response in our body. So being mindful of that. A couple options, you could try adding cinnamon. Cinnamon hits the same taste buds without adding any grams of sugar. So you can add it to like your protein pancakes, yogurt, muffins, coffee, things like that. See if that helps. You can slowly wean yourself off the sweetener too, to kind of help. And like maybe like if you want to try adding cinnamon and then dropping the sugar, so over time you stop craving it, or it feels sweet still, even though, so it's not such a drastic drop. You can try added unsweetened shredded coconut. I add coconut to a lot of things.
Same.
Just gives that texture that you want to. And then always you can do pureed fruit as well. So that is you're still going to have the sweetness of the fruit,
Yep.
which is going to have sugar, but when you puree it, it goes a lot further.
It does.
So a lot of times when I do like pancakes at home, like if I'm making protein pancakes,
Mhm.
I'll take frozen blueberries and I'll make I'll boil them and let them like reduce down, and then I'll add a thickener, and I use that as my syrup because it's going to be a lot lower in berries. Berries are much lower in carbohydrates and sugar than a lot of our other fruits like bananas and stuff. So when I eat fruit, it's almost always berries.
Yep. And even with like muffins too, if you're making muffins and you don't want to use as much sugar in them, you can use applesauce. Applesauce is a
I
great.
use applesauce.
Yeah,
It's really
good.
I don't know if you guys saw the chocolate protein banana bread that I posted
It
last
was amazing.
week. It called for applesauce, and oh my gosh,
it's really good.
Like it is so good. That is, I'm gonna make it again. Like I just bought bananas Sunday, and I'm like, don't eat the bananas. They need to ripen. Like, I want to make more of it. It was so good. So the second tip is never eat carbs alone. This is something that we teach all the time if we want to have balance. So we want to make sure we're eating protein, carbs, and fat together, because when we do that, it helps our blood sugar not spike and helps us feel more full and more balanced. So making sure that we're pairing protein and fat with our carb or our sugar source, so we feel full and we don't have those cravings. Because usually if you think about it, like anytime I'm craving like a sweet, I'm usually really hungry. So if there's something sitting on the counter, like there's some cookies sitting in there right now.
I saw them as I walked past. I was like, I'm gonna steal one of those before I go home.
But I will force myself to eat something first.
Yes.
Or drink water. Because if I have like some protein in my stomach, then I'll eat one cookie.
You're right. Yeah.
If I don't, I will eat all the cookies.
Yeah.
So just know that about yourself. Instead of eating the whole package, you can like limit it to, or break it up. Like I know you do that. Like if you go to Crumble, you'll cut your cookies up and put them in the freezer and like just take a quarter.
Yep. So. And then on Saturdays, sometimes Amy and I, if there are good Crumble flavors, Amy and I will go and we'll grab a cookie and we'll like split it with a bunch of people. But before we go, I always have a protein shake. I drink my protein shake before I eat the cookie because then I only want like 1 or 2 bites.
Yep.
And then lastly, tip number 3 is staying mindful with your portions. Eat balanced meals throughout the day to keep you from feeling hungry. That's one thing that we stress so much with our clients. Number 2 is portion out snacks instead of eating right out of the bag. You can buy like Ziploc snack baggies and portion your snacks out. You could almost do it as like a food prep. Yeah. And portion your snacks out, put them in the fridge, put them in the pantry, and just grab and go. So that way you're not eating out of the bag. Number 3 is take time to enjoy the treat by putting your fork down or your spoon in between bites. Don't you eat out of a fork from like ice cream or something out of a fork?
With a fork?
With a fork?
Not me.
Oh, I thought somebody was telling
me. I'm very
me.
specific about the spoon size when I eat ice cream.
Somebody was telling me that they eat, it was like ice cream or something with a fork.
Because it's not as enjoyable.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I should try that.
Yeah, because I don't remember who told me that. But try that. Yeah. And then also number 4, after consuming a treat, wash out your mouth with a glass of water.
Or put gum in.
Yes.
That works very well.
Yeah.
So what was I going to say? Oh, nothing drives me more insane than when I make those really yummy coconut protein balls, which a lot of you guys have tried before.
So good.
Nothing drives me more insane than when Chris or somebody I make them for pops the whole thing in their mouth.
It's too fast.
Slow down. Enjoy it. It's so good. Like you could eat that for 5 minutes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you just got 10 seconds out of that.
Yeah.
So I'm all about eating my treat slow.
Yeah.
So that I can enjoy it longer.
I have for lunch, I have these peanut butter protein like bars that I made, and they're super low in carbs and they're like kind of higher in fat, but they taste really good and they're smaller. Like I could probably get 10 bites out of it. Slow, small,
nibbles.
10 bites.
We're talking nibbles.
And I wait until the very end of like my meal and I sit and I savor each bite. I set it down as I chew.
So if you guys haven't tried the dark chocolate peanut butter cups from Trader Joe's, like you have to go buy them, but put them in the back of your fridge. And so you can't see them. And then when they're in the fridge, they're harder to
Yeah.
eat. They take longer to eat.
Yeah.
If they're on the counter or in the pantry, they melt in 2 seconds.
Yes.
Like you need it to like last a minute in your
Yeah.
mouth. Teach you all my tricks, guys. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open things up to questions. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and let's see, Dusty. So Dusty just commented when we were talking to her earlier. She said that she's seen a lot of improvements in her workouts, and she's had many strength increases and even PR'd my mile during Murph.
She did.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. You know, there was somebody else that PR'd their mile during Murph.
That's amazing.
Oh, it was Jazz. It was Jazz.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm like, there was somebody. Okay, so I want you guys to either unmute yourself if you have any questions or type it in the chat. Is there anything that we didn't cover, or if you guys have something, a trick or whatever that works for you, share it with us, because I'm always up for learning something new. Oh, Marie jumped on.
I put her in the thing.
Oh,
I
cool.
caught her.
Anyone? Jacqueline, do you have anything to add? Jacqueline's our other nutrition coach.
I think the one thing I was the most, can you hear me?
Yep.
I think the one thing I was most surprised to find sugar in was beef jerky. So
Yes.
that one was like a huge one for me, because I remember like a few months back, I had asked you about like sugar and like added sugars, because I wanted to like kind of keep track of it. And I know like on my Fitness Pal, like you can do that. So I started doing that, and it tells you, and it will like kind of like, it will kind of like show you like what has the most sugar in your food. Yeah. And one of it was the beef jerky. So that was something that like I had to change out. And there's other options out there too. There's that one from Costco that I've been using that's super good.
Well, and the one that I've been recommending to all my clients is from Trader Joe's, and it totally has sugar in it. And I didn't know it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, well, that's why it's so
It's
good.
super tasty.
There's a brand that you can get at Sprouts. It's called Vermont, and their beef jerky is really good. It's just they do the sticks instead of like the jerky. But there's no sugar in those ones.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's the first thing I look at when I look at beef jerky.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really eat beef jerky anymore.
Yeah.
Unless we're traveling.
Yes.
Then I bring it.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any tips on things that sugars in salad dressing? Yes. Shelly.
Yeah.
It's definitely in all sauces, really.
Yep.
Barbecue sauce is probably like the highest.
I always tell my clients that if you're going to go after a salad dressing, go after a full fat salad dressing, because that way you have a better chance of finding a salad dressing that is lower in sugar than if you were to do a low fat, and then that would always end up being higher. And Steve, lemon water is really good. You can also mix apple cider vinegar in with that as well.
Yeah, that's good for your gut. Marie said, I've eaten ice cream with a fork and it doesn't work for me.
I don't remember who told me that. But yeah, I've never tried it. I feel like it would.
You know those little
aggravate me.
sample spoons that you get at ice cream places? Maybe eat ice cream with that. It'll last longer.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, anyone else have any suggestions?
Well, I have a question. So I might have missed this, but how many grams should we try to stay under every day?
Yeah, 24 grams
24.
for females. Yeah.
I went over yesterday.
In my Fitness Pal, I think it will tell you. Let me look really quick.
Yeah, you can go to the nutrition one. I checked earlier. So
Oh, okay. This is interesting. In my Fitness Pal, it says 50 grams.
Oh,
Interesting. So it's really supposed to be 24 for females and 36 for men.
I wonder if it's different.
But honestly, like 50 would be an improvement for a lot of us.
Yeah, mine's 76 grams.
What?
Yeah, mine says 76
That's
grams.
weird. Why would you-
mine chose 67 and I had 40 today.
Huh.
Yeah, well, it might be because of what our macros are, and it might calculate it depending on your carbs or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good
And
question.
then what are good, like, I know you said stevia, but aren't like fake sugar is also like really bad for your gut, like can cause inflammation, stuff, bloating and stuff like that. So stevia is good. Where are the other ones to not kind of when things are like zero sugar or like Gatorade, like she really likes zero sugar Gatorades, zero sugar Gatorades.
Stevia is actually okay to
Okay.
do. A xylitol is another sugar that's okay to do. Xylitol messes with my stomach though. I cannot do. In fact, I can do it in small amounts. One time I made, this was before I knew, I made a homemade lemonade with xylitol.
Ooh.
Was not good an hour later, guys. Don't do that. TMI, I know, but so like obviously you can do like, so okay, all sugars are going to spike your blood sugar, right? They're all going to turn to glucose, but some of them are going to do it slower. So like honey is going to be digested slower than table sugar. If you look at the glycemic index, table sugar is 100. And then you can see all the, in fact, you can Google a glycemic index for sugars and you can see where it lands. So 100's the highest, 0's the lowest. You're going to try and find something that's lower on the glycemic index. So you can do like coconut sugar. That's going to be a lot lower on the glycemic index.
I use coconut sugar in my cookies instead of brown sugar.
Yeah. And some things, so like my banana bread that I made was honey. And sometimes a recipe will call for like a half a cup and I'll just try doing less, especially on banana bread because bananas are so sweet. You can get away with doing less. Also, if you add a protein powder, that is sweet. So like that's something I do with my yogurt, my two good yogurts. I add I add the driven vanilla, half a scoop, and that sweetens it. So I don't need to add any sweetener.
I do the same thing.
And oatmeal too. If I make oatmeal, I always add protein powder and then I don't add any sweetener.
Same.
Because the protein powder will make it sweet enough.
And peanut butter too. Peanut butter in it too.
So peanut butter has sugar in it, guys. Unless you're getting natural, it has sugar in it.
Yeah, pretty much if it tastes really good, there's sugar in it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I grew up with the non-sugared peanut butter.
The kind that has the oil that sits on the top that never gets to the bottom.
Yeah.
Which my sister taught me a trick.
Yeah.
If you have a hand mixer, you put just one of the little mixers on it and you stick it down in that thing and it mixes it all up.
Oh,
I tried it the other day.
Did it work?
But you got to hold the jar real hard because it flipped that jar around and it started going everywhere. I'm like, oh no.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it worked. Okay. Erythritol. Yeah. So that's one you want to stay away from. Okay. Any other questions? Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Steve, again, thank you for joining us. If you guys want to check him out, I will link when I send this out, I'll email this recording out and I'll link his website on there so that you guys can book your sessions. And I will also bring in those $20 cards so that you guys can grab them at the gym. If you guys have any questions, obviously we're at the gym. You can talk to us anytime. If you are watching this and you're not a part of our gym and you want to work with us, we work with everybody, anybody that wants help nutritionally. We know it's really hard to navigate, especially when you're first starting out. And so that's why we are here for you. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.